Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today I'm going to talk about 5 ways in which writing a diary has changed my life. The first thing that writing a diary has helped me do is it has helped me gain clarity in my thoughts and my emotions. So I started writing a diary when I was in grade 6 or 7, and then I continued with this habit all throughout my teenagers. Or teenage एक ऐसा time होता है हमारी जिंदगी में where a lot of things are going on in our heads. Some of them we understand, a lot of them we don't understand, and at that point not being able to understand what was going on in my life filled me with a lot of anxiety and a lot of stress. और स्ट्रेस मैनेजमेंट के अगर आप बहुत सारे कोर्सेज भी देखेंगे उसके अंदर वो बात ये करते हैं कि whatever is on your mind you write it down, and the act of writing down something helps to declutter your mind, because our brains are really good at thinking about stuff, they're really good at being creative, but they're not so good at memorizing stuff. So when you're trying to hold thoughts in your head all the time, that itself brings a lot of added anxiety and stress. So when I wrote about my thoughts on paper in my notebook or in my diary, I felt that my brain was now getting decluttered and there was a lot of clarity. The other thing that writing about my thoughts did was when I wrote them on paper, I realized that these thoughts seemed a lot bigger in my mind than they actually were, and I was now able to make more sense out of them, which ultimately reduced my stress and anxiety. The second way in which journaling has helped me is that it has made me more articulate in my speech, and that comes with two advantages. Number one, when you're more articulate in your speech, you become more effective in communication, which in turn reduces chances of misunderstanding. The second thing is when you're more articulate in your speech, you seem more confident and you're more likely to convince people to see the world from your point of view. And this particular thing, in my opinion, is perhaps the most important thing, because if you're able to convince people to see the world from your point of view, then in my opinion, you have conquered the world. But how does writing about your thoughts make you more articulate? Have you ever felt when you're telling a story about your life to somebody else, it's harder, but if you're narrating the same story to yourself, it sounds a lot more easier? It's because there's certain assumptions in those stories, in those ideas, that you automatically know about and you don't even speak about. But you would have to address those assumptions when you tell it to somebody else, and that is why it becomes more harder and more laborious activity to talk about it to somebody else rather than just thinking about it in our heads. But the problem is, within those pockets of assumptions in your overall ideas, there are certain biases. Those biases may or may not be correct. But if you don't address them, you will never know. And if you don't address those biases, your overall idea, your overall thought will remain weak, will remain vulnerable. But when you write about them in your diary, you're addressing those assumptions. You are forced to writing about those biases that you have. And now you're able to look at your ideas from a second person's perspective. You're able to externalize the idea from yourself. And when you zoom out and look at the entire idea, you are able to identify certain biases that are not true, that might not be accurate, and then you can account for them. Or उसके हिसाब से you can either adjust your entire idea or you can tweak it and you can change it. What you have now effectively done is that you have improved your original idea and you have strengthened that. Now you have plugged those pockets of assumptions, you've addressed those biases that you would have otherwise missed, and you've accounted for them. And now when you present this coherent idea in front of somebody else, you'll be more confident in your ability to defend it. And that confidence will reflect while you're speaking about it to somebody else, and they're more likely to see the world from your point of view. And now you've made yourself a lot more convincing and a lot more persuasive. The third way in which writing a diary has helped me is that it has contributed immensely towards my personal development and has made me more self-aware. When we talk about our life, we are used to highlighting our strengths, our positives to the world, and we are used to hiding our weaknesses, our shortcomings from the world. But if we don't address those weaknesses and shortcomings, they will remain hidden from us as well. And if they remain hidden from us, then we're not able to take action against them, and we're not able to improve our personality, and we're not able to upskill ourselves. But journaling or writing a diary gives you an excellent avenue towards addressing your weaknesses. So oftentimes when I'm frustrated at a situation or angry, I'll be writing about it in my diary. Initially, I'll be pinning the blame on a particular situation or somebody else. But as I continue to write about that experience, I'll start to realize that I'm actually frustrated or angry or mad at myself and the way I acted. I've identified a weakness within my personality, which is that I did not like the way I reacted in a particular situation, and I would also highlight the way I would have liked to react. So now I have pinpointed my weakness, and I also have pinpointed as to how I would have liked to react, which becomes the ideal, the goal that I want to achieve. And now I can chalk out this trajectory. But bear in mind, when you're discussing your weaknesses, it is incredibly laborious. It is an extremely mentally taxing activity, because even when I'm writing about my weakness in my own diary to my own self that nobody is going to read, it's still a very difficult thing, because even confronting my weaknesses to myself is a difficult part. But it is extremely important for your personal development. And you could do this with anything. If, let's say, you want to upskill yourself, let's say you want to develop the skill of public speaking, you feel like, there's something that you can do to become a better public speaker. So you've identified a particular goal that you want to achieve, you have identified where you are right now, and now you can create a trajectory and work towards it. This is different from just thinking about it. When you're just thinking about doing something, you're not actually doing it. But when you've written it down, when you've created a plan out of it, now you have concrete steps that you can take and ensure that you are able to effectively achieve your goal. Which brings me to the fourth way in which writing a diary has helped me, and that is, it has become a catalog of my life. Let me ask you a question. What is your life achievement? What have you achieved in life? This is a difficult question to answer, because we're not used to thinking about, okay, these are the things that I've achieved in life. There's so many things that we've actually achieved in life, but they remain hidden from us because we've not really thought about them. But when you write about your experiences, you're writing about your bad experiences, your ugly experiences, but you're also writing about your good experiences. You're not just writing about your failures, you're also writing about your successes, things that you've done right, things that you've achieved. Maybe you cleared an exam, maybe you achieved straight A's, maybe you got into a university of your choice, maybe you got the job that you had always dreamed of, and you've written about that positive experience. That is an achievement that you would have otherwise perhaps missed. And these are the quantifiable achievements that you have. But there are also non-quantifiable achievements in your life. Maybe there was a particular situation that happened, there was a crisis that happened, and you handled that crisis in a mature manner, and you feel proud of the way you reacted. Maybe you got in touch with a long lost friend. Maybe you made up with a friend that you had lost. Those are all achievements. Those are achievements that do not fall into the traditional metric of successes, but they're still successes of your life. And when you write about them in your diary, you're automatically creating a catalog of them. But the most important way in which cataloging your life helps is that when you go back and read something that you've written a couple of years back, you are more likely to feel extremely embarrassed about what you used to think. मेरे साथ तो ये बहुत होता है. So when I'm reading something that I've written a couple of years back, I'll feel embarrassed, I'll feel cringe, I'll feel like I'm saying something very immature. But why do I feel embarrassed about what I've written in the past? Why do I feel that I was immature then? It is because that over the past 2 years, my life experiences have shaped, have reformed my thought process. I have evolved as a person, and as a result of which, my way of thinking has evolved. And that is why today I feel like whatever I said at that time was very childish or immature, because I've had new experiences. I've not just existed on this planet, I have truly lived. And because of this habit of writing about my experiences, I'm able to see how I have grown over the years. And that is an incredibly powerful emotion. It is incredibly powerful because you are able to catalog your journey through life. You're able to catalog the real growth that you've experienced. Fifth and final way in which writing a diary has helped me is that it has made me more resilient, and it made me more confident in my ability to overcome challenges. Whenever we experience a problem in our life, a failure, setback, or a challenge, it often comes with a lot of negative energy, a lot of self-doubt, where you start questioning whether you have the ability to change. मेरे साथ तो ये बहुत होता है कि there's a new challenge, or if I failed at something, I feel like, am I capable? Do I have the ability to do it? And there's a lot of self-doubt, there's a lot of negative energy. But in those moments, if you have a catalog of your life, of all the achievements that you've had, all the time when you failed and you were able to overcome those failures, overcome certain challenges, it gives you a lot of confidence. And when I look at my journey, my successes that I've had, when I've overcome challenges in my past, it gives me a lot of confidence in my ability to overcome newer challenges that I'll be facing. The second thing it does is that when you look at achievements, when you look at all you have gained over your life, it fills you with a lot of gratitude. And you're like, hang on a minute, there are a lot of good things that are going on in my life. 3 साल पहले मेरे पास A, B, C चीजें नहीं थी, और आज मेरे पास वो चीजें हैं. So there are some good things that are happening in my life. And this gratitude fills you with a lot of positive energy that is extremely powerful and that can help to counter the negative energy that comes with self-doubt. All of these things will make you more resilient and will put you in a better state of mind to deal with failures and overcome challenges. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're somebody who is thinking about writing a diary, I hope I pushed you in the right direction into starting a journal. And if you're somebody who already maintains a regular diary or journals about your life, I want to hear about your experiences of how writing a diary has helped you in your life. If you have any feedback, please share in the comment section below. If you want to see more videos related to learning and education and personal development, please like, subscribe, and share Learner's Nest. Thank you, and Allah Hafiz.